Good morning. I want you to take a moment and ask yourself a single question. What would your life look like if you had no limits? Imagine waking up every day with unstoppable energy, clarity, and a burning desire to create the life you've always dreamed of. Today is not just another morning. It's an opportunity, a fresh page, a chance to rewrite your story. Too many of us settle for comfort, for the safety of small dreams, because fear whispers that the impossible is too far away. But here's the truth. The only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. Every morning is a powerful reset button. Every day you have the chance to fuel your mind, ignite your spirit, and step boldly into a life bigger than your fears. This isn't about wishful thinking. It's about action. It's about showing up, believing in your potential, and refusing to let circumstances dictate your destiny. Picture the life you've always wanted, the freedom, the joy, the impact. That life is not a fantasy. It is a possibility waiting for you to claim it. Today, I challenge you to dream bigger than ever before, to rise every morning with fire in your heart and clarity in your mind. Because when you commit to this, when you embrace the power of your mornings, you won't just transform your day, you'll transform your life. The moment you wake up each morning, you are handed a choice, a blank canvas upon which you can paint the story of your day, the story of your life. Too many people stumble out of bed, dragged by routine, by habit, by the weight of yesterday, and they carry that heaviness forward. But the truth is, the first few moments of your day hold more power than any hour that follows. The energy you create, the focus you embrace, the mindset you cultivate in those early moments can set the trajectory for your entire existence. When you train yourself to approach mornings with purpose, with clarity, and with vision, you begin to break free from the patterns that have held you back. You learn that your circumstances are not your destiny, that the challenges you face do not define you, and that every sunrise brings a fresh opportunity to step into the person you were meant to become. It's not just about waking up, it's about awakening, fully and intentionally, to the possibilities around you. Imagine starting your day by aligning your mind with your highest goals, by visualizing the life you want to live, by affirming the strength, courage, and creativity that already reside within you. When you do this consistently, your mornings become a launch pad for momentum, and momentum compounds. Small shifts in the first hour create exponential growth over time. You begin to notice how decisions become easier, how focus sharpens, how challenges are met with resilience rather than resistance. The body responds to the mind, and the mind responds to the energy you bring. A morning of intentional thinking and emotional priming sends ripples throughout every area of your life: relationships, career, health, and personal fulfillment. And here's the critical insight. You don't need perfect conditions to make this happen. You don't need endless time or an ideal environment. All you need is the commitment to take control the first moments, to decide that before distractions and pressures claim you, you will claim yourself. Every great performer, every visionary, every person who has ever transformed their life understood this principle. They understood that mastery begins with the mind, that habits shape destiny, and that if you can own the start of your day, you can own the direction of your life. It's in those quiet, intentional mornings where confidence is built, where resilience is forged, and where the clarity to pursue massive goals is born. The power of a morning mindset is not simply about positivity. It's about alignment, energy, and focus, creating a ripple effect that carries you through. Every person carries within them a set of beliefs, some empowering, some quietly destructive. Limiting beliefs are those silent whispers that tell you what you cannot do, who you cannot become, and what is out of your reach. They are the internal barriers that disguise themselves as reality, convincing you that your dreams are too big, your goals too ambitious, or your circumstances too difficult. But here's the truth. Those beliefs are not facts. They are stories you've been told, patterns you've adopted, fears you've allowed to take root. The moment you recognize this, the moment you see that your limitations are not inherent but imposed, you step into freedom. Breaking limiting beliefs is not about denying challenges or pretending life is easy. It's about confronting the lies you've accepted as truth and replacing them with empowering convictions that propel you forward. It's about asking yourself questions that challenge your assumptions, examining the evidence, and refusing to let old narratives define what is possible. Imagine the power that comes when you no longer allow fear, doubt, or past failures to dictate your actions. Imagine waking up each day knowing that your potential is limitless, that your past does not determine your future, and that you have the ability to create outcomes far beyond what you've dared to imagine. Every great achievement begins with a belief that it is possible. And every step forward in life is strengthened by the conviction that you are capable. When you consciously challenge and dismantle limiting beliefs, you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles, to embrace risks with courage rather than hesitation, and to take action that aligns with your highest vision. The process requires honesty, persistence, and the willingness to feel discomfort, because old beliefs cling tightly and resist change. Yet the payoff is monumental. You unlock creativity, resilience, and a sense of empowerment that transforms not just what you do, but who you are. Every habit, every decision, every relationship in your life becomes infused with new energy when the shackles of limitation are removed. Breaking limiting beliefs is the gateway to a life of possibility. It teaches you that the only walls standing between you and your dreams are the ones you build in your mind, and that with awareness, courage, and consistent effort, those walls can be torn down. You begin to understand that failures are not proof of inadequacy, but lessons in growth, that rejection is not a verdict on your worth, but a redirection towards something greater, and that the universe responds to the clarity and power of a mind willing to dreams, visions, and goals are nothing without action. You can plan endlessly, visualize vividly, and affirm daily, but until you move, nothing changes. Action is the fuel that transforms thought into reality, energy into results, and intention into impact. The power of action is not merely in doing, it's in doing with purpose, with urgency, and with relentless determination. Every successful person you admire understood this principle. Momentum comes from movement, and confidence comes from consistent steps toward a goal. The act of moving forward, even when uncertainty looms, ignites a feedback loop that propels you faster than you ever imagined. When you take action, your mind begins to see possibilities where once there were doubts. Your body responds with energy and vitality, your focus sharpens, and your courage grows because you are no longer trapped in the paralysis of indecision. Action generates clarity. Often people wait for the perfect plan, the ideal moment, or the complete picture before they step forward, but life does not wait, and opportunities are fleeting. Waiting breeds hesitation. Hesitation breeds doubt, and doubt breeds stagnation. The energy of action is about breaking through that cycle, committing to move, learning as you go, adjusting your course, and embracing the growth that comes from doing rather than merely thinking. Every step you take creates feedback, lessons, and momentum that compound over time, shaping not only outcomes but also character. Action amplifies belief. It turns faith into evidence and intention into results. You begin to trust yourself more because you see the results of your efforts, however small they may be at first. And here's the secret: action is contagious. Once you step forward, your environment, your relationships, and even the universe respond to the energy you emit. Opportunities present themselves, solutions become clearer, and momentum gathers like a wave that cannot be stopped. Energy is amplified by movement, and movement is fueled by courage. Taking action is not about reckless speed, but about deliberate, consistent steps that honor your vision and stretch your capacity. It's about turning fear into fuel, resistance into learning, and uncertainty into opportunity. The energy of action transforms your life because it shifts you from being a passive observer to an active creator of your reality. Every choice, every small step, every decisive move compounds, building the foundation for extraordinary results. When you truly understand this, you realize that success is not a destination, it is a pattern of consistent action. The willingness to engage, to move despite fear, and to harness the energy that comes from your mind is the most powerful tool you possess, and imagination is the gateway to turning the unseen into reality. What you can vividly see, feel, and believe in your mind, you can create in your life. Visualization is not mere daydreaming. It is an active, deliberate process of aligning your mental energy with your goals, of training your brain to recognize opportunities, and of programming yourself for success. When you close your eyes and see the life you desire with clarity and detail, your brain begins to work as if it is already happening. It sparks new ideas, creates solutions, and motivates action that moves you closer to your vision. This is why top performers, innovators, and leaders spend time each day in focused visualization. They understand that what the mind can conceive with conviction, the body and circumstances will eventually manifest. Imagination allows you to break the boundaries of your current reality, to explore what seems impossible, and to envision outcomes far beyond what you currently experience. When you combine imagination with belief and action, you create a magnetic force that draws the resources, people, and opportunities needed to achieve your dreams. Visualization also strengthens resilience. When you mentally rehearse overcoming obstacles, you train your mind to respond with creativity and determination rather than fear and doubt. You begin to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones, as opportunities to refine your skills, and as signals guiding you toward your next move. Imagination fuels motivation because it gives you a vivid picture of what's possible, making the future tangible and exciting. It allows you to connect emotionally with your goals, to feel the success before it happens, and to embed that emotional energy into your daily actions. This is why habits of visualization create a powerful ripple effect. Every choice, every interaction, every decision becomes aligned with the life you are designing. You start noticing details you once overlooked, recognizing possibilities where others see problems, and responding with confidence because you have already experienced success in your mind. Your imagination becomes a rehearsal space where mistakes are safe, creativity is unleashed, and the blueprint for your future takes shape. But the key is consistency and intensity. Daily practice sharpens your ability to focus, to emotionally engage with your vision, and to internalize the belief that what you imagine is not only possible, but inevitable. When you fully harness visualization and imagination, you begin to realize that reality is flexible, that circumstances can be influenced, and that success is not born from one grand gesture, one moment of inspiration, or one lucky break. It is built day by day, step by step, with relentless consistency. The small, seemingly insignificant choices you make repeatedly, how you spend your mornings, how you respond to challenges, the effort you put into learning and growing, compound over time into extraordinary results. Consistency is the bridge between goals and achievements, between dreams and reality, and it is what separates those who talk about success from those who live it. Every habit you cultivate, every action you repeat, and every standard you uphold builds the foundation of your future. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about showing up even when motivation wanes, when fatigue sets in, or when the world seems indifferent to your efforts. Imagine a person who decides to improve, to grow, to take action every single day. They may not see immediate results, they may stumble and face setbacks, but over weeks, months, and years, the compounding effect of their consistent effort creates momentum that cannot be stopped. Consistency shapes character as much as it shapes outcomes. When you commit to doing the right things repeatedly, even when it's hard, you build resilience, discipline, and trust in yourself. You create a standard for excellence that becomes non-negotiable. This is why extraordinary people often emphasize routines, rituals, and repeated actions. They know that brilliance is not an accident. It is the byproduct of daily commitment. Small disciplines repeated over time create massive change, and consistency becomes a force multiplier. The power of consistency also lies in its ability to train the mind and body to perform at a higher level automatically. When you embed positive behaviors into your life, they become habits that require less effort, freeing energy for greater creativity, learning, and growth. Every day you honor your commitments. Every day you push through discomfort, and every day you act in alignment with your goals. You are writing the story of your destiny. Consistency transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results and ordinary people into exceptional achievers. It is the silent force that compounds quietly but powerfully, shaping your life in ways that are often invisible in the moment but undeniable over time. The truth is, there are no shortcuts. There is no substitute for repeated intentional effort, and no external force can replace the momentum you generate by showing up day after day. When you embrace consistency as your guiding principle, you begin to see that destiny is not something that happens to you. It is something you create, crafted through your choices, your actions, and your unwavering commitment to.